You know that feeling, that ache when someone you love pulls away? That sudden feeling of being completely lost and that feeling of complete emptiness, like a part of you just walked out the door? Well, what if I told you that that feeling was never about them, but instead it was about the feelings of love and connection that you projected onto them? In this video, I'm breaking down how to shift all of that perception and bring yourself back into a higher level, a much higher level of self-love, the kind that ends cycles of dependency and of feeling not enough, and ends cycles that keeps you chasing after love and feeling vulnerable to those you've projected that love onto. I'm going to help bring you back to you and remember you are the source of love that you felt all along, and bring you back to that place of knowing that you are the prize. If you're new here, hello, I am your muse Tracy. On this channel, I teach you how to wake up every morning knowing that you and you alone create every aspect of your reality. Together, we work to peel back the false layers of programming that keep you stuck and feeling powerless. Enough of that, so that you can return back to the center of your reality where you were meant to be all along. So let's get into the video today. We've all been there. Someone leaves, someone doesn't choose us, someone pulls away, and it feels like the ground underneath our feet disappeared. It's not just about missing them, it's about what their absence seems to say about us. Our nervous system hears, "I'm not enough." But here's the truth. That feeling isn't rejection. It's the result of your projection. When you break out of the illusion of this projection and see that it's not actually rejection, but you see that it's projection, only then can you start to shift it, right? We can't shift what we think that we are a victim from. And only then you can finally learn to love yourself so completely, so unconditionally that no one's absence can touch you. You see your wholeness isn't up for debate anymore. Well, it never was, but you were conditioned to believe that it was. And we're putting an end to that here on this channel. With this video, with my coaching program, that ends because that was never the truth. Neville said, "The world is yourself pushed out." Every person who seems to withdraw, withhold, or disappear is mirroring a place within you that is really asking to be seen, because you have to see it to heal. You don't have to heal, but for ease of language, heal or change it. And the pain you feel is actually the indication that something is off and something needs to be looked at and changed. The pain is not an indication that you are broken or that you don't deserve the love that you desire. It's not that at all. But this is exactly how most people interpret it. And if you can just learn to see it a little bit differently as I'm explaining, if you can just learn to see that the pain is an indication that something is off, that's what pain is. It's meant to get your attention, right? That's why it hurts so much. It's meant to get your attention. It's meant to wake you up to the truth, right? So if you can start to just see it this way, you can start to use the pain as the mirror reflection to help you shift rather than to keep you stuck, right? So let's talk about this self-love piece, because this again is the key to allowing no one's absence to bother you or shake you. And I want to first talk about what people get wrong about self-love. And I did too, okay? I did as well. And it's going to be the best news ever, because it's not what you think or what we were taught to think that it was. Most people treat self-love as like a checklist, a to-do list. Bubble baths, affirmations, subliminals, a spa day, a shopping spree, a journaling afternoon, lighting a candle, whatever. You guys get the point. And while there's nothing wrong with any of these, That's not love. Love is not an action. It's a state of being within yourself. True love isn't an activity that you can do. It's an acceptance you practice for all of you. It's a reconciliation of your parts, between the parts of you that you rejected, that you were told were too much, not enough, not acceptable, not good, not lovable, right? When we're told those things as a child, then we ourselves, we need to be loved, we need to be safe, we need to be accepted. So we ourselves take that on and we start to reject and deny those parts of ourselves. Because again, we're just trying to stay safe, we're just trying to stay loved as young children, right? So we fragment ourselves. We learn there's parts of me that are good and will get me loved and keep me safe. And then there's parts of me that are no way, not acceptable, not okay, dangerous. Those parts are dangerous. I need to hide and suppress those at all costs. And this is how we create the shadow. So you see, it's easy to love your confident side, your beautiful side, your spiritual side, but can you love the version of yourself or the side of yourself who is jealous, who feels abandoned, and the one who still hopes for that external validation? Can you love those parts and accept those parts of yourself as well? Because all of your parts, all of your potentials deserve to be loved and accepted. They do. And until you bring them home through that acceptance, you'll keep manifesting situations that cause the pain, because this misalignment, this rejection of self within is, again, trying to get your attention. That's why it's painful. So let's talk about a real self-love practice, and that is through shadow work and integration. This is the part that changes everything. It is highly transformative. And it's what I dive deep into in my coaching program with my one-on-one clients. In addition to identifying and rewriting the programming and the limiting beliefs, the false layers, processing deeply suppressed and repressed emotions, in addition to all of that is the shadow integration. Integration just means welcoming back the pieces of yourself that you've previously banished, the parts you've hidden and locked away so that you can be loved and safe and, accepted. It takes looking at the jealousy, the fear, the desperation, and saying to those parts of yourself, it's okay, you can sit here too. You can sit at this table too. You're allowed to be here. That's basically it. Shadow work isn't about fixing yourself, because you're not broken, just fragmented. You're just fragmented apart. And again, out of an attempt to survive and to be loved. It's important that we're loved when we're younger. But what this is really about is realizing that nothing was ever broken to begin with. There was nothing ever within you that was not acceptable, not at all. And so it's about realizing that. And you're simply bringing those banished parts, those fragmented, denied parts back into the whole. So here's how you can start to do this work on your own if you'd like to. Step number 1 is awareness without judgment. I cannot express this without judgment piece enough. We have to be, and that in and of itself is loving. That is loving, when we just observe without judgment. So learn how to do that. If that seems like a wildly foreign concept to you, fair enough. If you want my help working on that, or, just have the awareness that, oh, wow, I'm looking at this, but, judging it. You don't have to do that. I'm giving you a pass that you don't have to do that. So when you get triggered, just pause, and you don't have to rush in to fix it or get all high vibed in that moment. Just notice what part of you is wanting to be seen or acknowledged. Anytime we're experiencing judgment of another person or a situation, we are actually getting a glimpse or an insight into what's locked away in our shadow. So awareness, being aware of when and how the shadow shows itself to you. Step number 2 is complete acceptance. Instead of trying to get rid of the feeling, place a hand on your heart, or, just some loving gesture towards yourself of acceptance. Again, we have to cut out judgment. We have to learn how to do that. And tell that part, I see you and you're allowed to be here. That's really it. It's so simple, but yet so powerful. It's this practice of accepting and loving every part of yourself. And I was just speaking to a client the other day, and she was also struggling with this judgment piece. And I said, you have full permission to stop doing that, to no longer practice this harsh self-judgment and criticism. Just, you get to never ever do that again. I'm giving you a pass. I'm giving you permission. And she was so relieved just by hearing that. So, and that is part of integration, allowing it all to exist, allowing it all to be okay, because it is. So let's look at Neville's perspective on this. And Neville taught that consciousness is the only reality, right? So the love you think you're chasing from another is just a mirror of the love you withhold from yourself, that you've denied from yourself. He said you must be in love with the state of your desire to manifest. And that includes being in love with yourself, loving all of yourself, even the parts you once hid in the dark. When you integrate your shadow, you stop manifesting partners who mirror your unhealed wounds. You just stop doing that, because that's how the shadow works. The shadow doesn't stay hidden in the dark, as we would like it to. No, instead, it gets projected out into the world for you to see. It gets put on display, right? It works the exact opposite way that we were hoping that it works. It gets projected out into your world, put on display for us to see and for us to experience. So we keep experiencing things out there that we keep suppressing and we keep trying to hide within ourselves. It works the exact opposite way than what we were really intending. And that's because there's no hiding in this universe. The universe is you, and you can't hide from yourself, can you? Nope, you can't. So when you integrate your shadow, you start attracting from wholeness, not from lack. Because now your energy says, I'm already chosen, I'm already enough, and I am already loved. The outer world has no choice but to reflect that inner wholeness back to you. So here's a little personal story with my experience of doing this shadow work. When I first learned about shadow work, well, first of all, I was not really drawn to it for a long time. I knew about it, but I wasn't really drawn to it. But I finally was drawn to it because I was trying to figure out why I had this repeating pattern that kept showing up in so many different areas of my life. I knew it was me, but I couldn't see how I kept attracting the same pattern in almost all areas of my life, right? It wasn't just one area. It was pervasive. It was in almost all areas. And it kept happening over and over and over and over again. No amount of self-concept work was working. And this was again because the thing that I was denying and absolutely rejecting within myself was what? It was getting projected out into my reality, because that's what I learned from a young age that was appropriate and not appropriate in order to be loved, right? So this part of myself that I rejected, I learned to reject from a young age. I was still doing that because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? And so I was still doing that, and it was creating this chaotic pattern in my life that frankly I got sick and tired of. And once I identified the part of me that I was still deeply rejecting and pushing down and denying, and I just invited that part back into the whole, I just accepted that, yeah, that's part of me, and that's allowed to be here, that's allowed to exist. And I practiced that total acceptance and self-love, and that love for myself. And this is the this is what self-love is. It's not an action, it's an embodiment. It's a state of being where you accept all parts of yourself. Love is acceptance. So only then the pattern completely stopped, and it no longer, kept haunting me in every area of my life. And not only did the pattern out there stop showing up, but I stopped replaying this old story about myself in my mind, right? I became more peaceful, more magnetic, and more anchored in my own self-worth and acceptance. That honestly was the absolute best part. Yes, the pattern that was annoying me so much stopped, but this inner self-worth, this inner validation, this inner acceptance that was there, it was more valuable to me than any pattern not showing up anymore. It was the best part. And this is what I want for you, right? To know that nothing and no one has the power to take away your sense of worth ever again. Ever again. It's not really them. Remember what I said in the beginning of the video. It was never about them. It's about the love you projected onto them. Okay? So no one has the power to take it away, your sense of worth, ever again. This is exactly the effect from doing this type of integration work. It's powerful and it's permanent. You will not go back. Okay? And again, this is what I want for you. This powerful shift that also, by the way, makes you magnetic to everything that you want. It's so powerful and it's so completely transformative and it's so simple, really, right? This doesn't have to be hard and, a struggle. It doesn't need to be all of that. So if this message hit home for you and you're ready to have these types of shifts for yourself, not just understand them conceptually. No, we want to have these experiences and these deep transformative shifts for ourselves, then that's what my 1-month transformative coaching program is for, where we go deep into this integration work. We go layer by layer into your programming and we integrate the patterns of worthiness and we rewire your nervous system to live in the knowing that you are the source of love, not the seeker of it. This isn't surface level mindset work. It's full body transformation, the kind that makes your energy so whole that love, money, peace, it all starts to chase you. And even better than that, you will feel the best that you've ever felt. Because nothing feels better than this wholeness, this inner peace that integration exposes. It's already there within you right now, and I'll show you how to uncover it and unlock it so that you can feel that love and that wholeness that already exists within you too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.